Beautiful, beautiful. So we're have the opportunity just to enjoy that beautiful piece of music and some images of those tree ancestors just to kind of get us all together today in resonance and coherence. And I think that's really a big part for many of us of what our gathering today is about. And this actually came about very spontaneously a few days ago during the Wisdom Council, which we have a representative here, SD Youngwolf, our Cherokee elder, and also we have Grandmother Gail Thomas here from the Grandmother Council, our Salagi elder from North Carolina. And also we have Patricia from Brazil, who's joining us. And of course, all of you, I see Jim Petruzzi here from the Verde Valley, Sedona area. My daughter, Pamela, and many others will be joining us. But today, we felt it was very important just to have a day to take a moment again to come together in resonance and alignment around this idea of regenesis, of rebirth, of making sure we're cultivating and germinating a positive narrative, the positive storyline, the good medicine and the good road as we move forward here. Especially at a time which has been very divisive and more people are experiencing challenges at this time, whether in their personal life or what's happening with the world, the government, whatever it might be. So today is really an opportunity to come together in a good way, in a positive way, in a beautiful way, to reinforce and support and continue to cultivate this connection of rebirthing and sharing our visions and thoughts, especially right now with this planetary alignment that's happening, a very powerful time. So regardless of whether there's 9 or 10 of us or 900 of us, it's really about the sincerity and authenticity of our gathering today. So with that, I'm going to here just light a candle, offer some incense, just to kind of bless our gathering today. And then I know we're going to go over to, as we do with everything we do, go over to Grandmother Gail Thomas and to SD Youngwolf for our opening ceremony today. Are you there, SD?
I'm here.
Great. Can you put your camera on?
Oh, not on?
Nope. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
So would you do us an honor maybe with an opening, a song today?
Okay. A song for protection and blessing. Vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vatatila ati idu, vatatila, vatatila, vatatila ati idu. Vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vatatila idu, vatatila, vatatila, vatatila ati idu. Vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vahi gohi, vatatila idu, vatatila, vatatila, vatatila ati idu. Vaike Koi, Vaike Koi, Vaike Koi, Vaike Koi, Ati, Atila, Atila, Ati. And if I may share something which is very inspirational to me from the great law of peace established by the peacemaker, the Haudenosaunee people. The peacemaker says, with the 5 nations confederate lords, I plant the tree of great peace. I place it in your territory, Adodaho, and the Onondaga Nation, in the territory of you who are the fire keepers. I name the tree of the great long leaves. Under the shade of this tree of the great peace, we spread the soft, white, feathery down of the globe thistle as seats for you, Adotaho, and your cousin lords. We place you upon those seats, spread soft with the feathery down of the globe thistle there beneath the shade of the spreading branches of the tree of peace. There shall you sit and watch the council of fire, the confederacy of the 5 nations, and all the affairs of the 5 nations shall be transacted at this place before you, Adotaho, and your cousin lords, by the confederate lords of the 5 nations. Roots have spread out from the tree of the great peace, one to the north, one to the east, one to the south, and one to the west. The name of these roots is the great white roots, and their nature is peace and strength. If any man or any nation outside the 5 nations shall obey the laws of the great peace and make known their disposition to the lords of the confederacy, they may trace the roots to the tree, and if their minds are clean, and if they are obedient and promise to obey the wishes of the confederate council, they shall be welcomed to take shelter beneath the tree of the long leaves. We place at the top of the tree of the long leaves an eagle who is able to see afar. If he sees in the distance any evil approaching or any danger threatening, he will at once warn the people of the confederacy. And that is the opening of the teaching, which are known as the Constitution of the Iroquois Nations, that was established by the peacemaker. And I am always inspired by the eloquence of the words of our elders and of our ancestors, because they are a blessing to us. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, SD. And I want to say not just today, but we have the honor every week of meeting with SD and Grandmother Gail as part of the weekly Wisdom Council. So thank you for your opening and those words of wisdom. Definitely peace is such an important thing at this time, and not just peace in the world, but also how can we have peace if we're not all carrying that spirit of peace in our own hearts. So thank you so much. I want to go now over to Grandmother Gail Thomas, and then also to Patricia in Brazil, Pachimama, as members of the Grandmother Council. So welcome, Grandmother Gail.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all for joining in this community way. Coming together at this time of alignment. How can we align ourselves with these planets?
Can you be a little louder? I'm sorry, it's a little soft. Thank you.
Yeah, how can we align ourselves with these planets at this time and with each other in community? It's beautiful to me that we synchronistically started with piece and a video of the trees here on our sacred mountain, Adagul. I can tell you, who saw that video, there are only 3 of those particular trees still standing after Hurricane Helene. 2 of the lightning trees and 1 tree that has a very old marriage knot that someone had tied hundreds of years ago in a small branch. One of the final trees that you see in that video, there's a circle in the limb, and that's where they tied the marriage knot to see if those 2 young people could come back years later, and if the knot was still in the branch of the tree, they would get married. And if it was not, they would go their separate ways. And so I don't know if that knot was in the tree at that time when they came back, but it is visible now as a circle, not as a knot. That's where the story of tying the marriage knot comes in tradition. And you know, I look at these planets aligning in Uranus, this sudden unexpected event. And that hurricane was certainly an unexpected sudden event. All the rest of those trees that you saw are lying on the ground now. They are no longer healthy, no longer standing after hundreds of years on the sacred mountain. And of course, the tree of life is in so many traditions. You know, the original tree of life was connecting the lower realm with the higher realm through this middle realm that we call Earth, that we are now on, that we came to as the stones in the beginning, the eldest, then the water. There's a song coming to me through the dream world that's saying, when we were water, joy was our food. And I invite you to take that into your heart as we train with each other in this space and honor our own alignment with the lower realm, the higher realm, the elements of this realm in the original spiritual way of this wave of humans that we are all part of, obviously, and we all have ancestors. If we reach back far enough, we all share ancestors in this wave of humans, and we don't have to know them because they know us. But we do need to consciously choose to work with them and to work with the elements, connecting the lower realms for protection and the higher realms for teaching of kind, gentle lessons that we can easily understand. And that's what I got with this hurricane. 2 weeks with no electricity, no connection, made me appreciate being able to come into community and share that trauma and share this connection and align back into the community that has supported me and been so close to me on Zoom primarily throughout all this time. Yeah, neighborhoods and people around us in physical community came together too and are still coming together. But it was those of us who go deep in these ways, sharing from our hearts and bringing in the whole world, the energies of the whole world, and coming into sync and training our hearts and our minds and all of our hearts together, which I hope we can do today and encourage each other in this opportunity for alignment. So much love and gratitude to all of you.
I want to thank you, Grandmother Gail, for your resilience and your groundedness, because you are literally in Asheville in the middle of what has been really a disaster zone in so many ways. So we appreciate the work that you continue to do, not just with the Grandmother Wisdom Council, but also your weekly transformation dances and walking in the moonlight, which we can share at the end. But we really appreciate you. And many of the people here on the call actually have been in disaster zones recently, or let's just say have been victims of these earth changes, of this, what my Hopi teachers and elders say, koyaanisqatsi, a world out of balance, and being in this time of a great purification between, water and fires and wind and earthquakes. Part of the Hopi prophecy is that all these elements will crescendo together in this transformation and purification of the earth and of humanity, which is why we kind of chose the idea today of this Regenesis gathering, of this rebirthing, of honoring tradition, honoring legacy, honoring the indigenous people who hold so much of this knowledge around the world. And as we do, also being able to be inclusive and move forward as a hoop, as a community in a good way, and also support each other. Very important. Whether we're in the same, river basin or watershed or bioregion, or we're on the other side of the planet, that we are still very connected. And with this gathering today, and these words, music and alignment and songs and prayers, that we're adding something good and positive to this alignment today. So I want to introduce Pachimama. She's also in Brazil, and as many of you know, Brazil has been suffering a lot of deforestation and fires, and scientists call it the lungs of the planet. So we're really happy and honored to have her here today to share some words and knowledge to this Regenesis gathering as we align with each other and the planets. So welcome all the way from Brazil, Pachi.
So good to be here with all of you. Thank you, Michael, for keeping this flame going. We need it. Here from Brazil, from northern part of Brazil, Chapada Diamantina, we've had a lot of fires and dry season, amazing. And then all of a sudden, lots of rain, and it's up and down. This is summer here, and it's unbelievable the changes that are happening. But what I want to bring mostly is this connection that we have from all the way up there with the eagle, northern, up there and here in South America, all the way down to the bottom of South America, where the Mapuches, which are the most ancient of our ancestors here, and all of South America, the Condor. So it's not about, us being here, you being there. We're all together on this. It's like a path of heart. We're together on this. And if we don't come together, like was said, if peace is not within us, how can we bring peace out there, right? And so here, gathered by trees, like SD talked about the tree, the beautiful tree, and we have the privilege. I want to introduce Otan, an elder who has been also working with the indigenous in the United States many, many years ago, and now he moved to Brazil. And the connection with Mother Earth has been something that has changed my life completely. I have no other words than us, walking without shoes on the ground and just, feeling what's here close to us. And as I look at all of you guys there, and I say, well, you're there, we're here, but we're together on this. There's no other possibility. If we don't come together and connect, like Michael's proposing, this regeneration, this new movement in our lives, we can't do anything. So I'm going to introduce Otan. Would you like to say a few words, Otan? Just to introduce yourself and a message to all of us?
Sure. Hi. My name's Otan, and my life, like all of us here, is about living. It's about love. It's about heart. And to echo what I've heard each of us say here so far and share about. The sky is opening, the earth is opening, something is opening very deeply and profoundly. Some of it is unexpected. The impact sometimes is experienced as very severe. And it feels like this is a process that is happening, not that we have areas in scope of influence, but what really is in control, right? And it's a matter of, there's a wave, very deep, very profound, that now is in process. And my sense is that all of us are having experiences, I know that I am, where it feels like my heart's being torn out because of certain experiences. And so using my supports, my spiritual supports, my circles of trust, and Pachi and I have been very close now for 10, 12 years, but really expanding that, right? And allowing our hearts to be our guide and to realizing, I know, and realizing and not coming to conclusions about anything. You know, part of my work, I used to be a psychologist and I've had shamanic practice for decades. And I work with community leaders and politicians, mostly in New Jersey, Florida, and Chicago. And they're tearing their hair out. And so the thing is continuing as best we can with our own inner work and also with the communities and the communication avenues within which we're connected and have some influence. Continuing to be there, to observe, to be present, and to be a voice of calm and clarity. And just and a depth of trust. What a time to be alive, you know. And I don't always feel that these days, but I'm able to feel that now, and that's increasing. And so I'm appreciating the love and the wisdom that's here. I can sense it. I can feel it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Wotan.
Okay.
With love from here and and below the Ecuador, the equator, and you guys up there. It's beautiful. It's really, makes a total difference.
Makes a big difference.
A big
Makes a big
difference to
difference.
come together. Thank you. Thank you all.
So thank you, Pachimama and Otan in Brazil. We have more people joining us. And I will say we're going to have everyone share a few words, and then we have a little bit of music, because today really is about alignment. It really is about resonance. It's transcending the talk into vibration and action. So thank you so much. I wanted to acknowledge another brother of medicine and someone who actually has opened his home to me when I was traveling through the Sedona area. And I know he is doing amazing projects, but I just want to welcome our brother Jim Petruzzi, if you'd like to share some words. Are you there, Jim?
Yeah, I couldn't find the button. Yeah, good morning all. Wow. Yes. I'm absorbing everyone's words and agreeing totally. These are the times we've been waiting for. It's why some of us are still here. We knew we were to stay here until all this is over, and so here we are. We're a little whiter, a little grayer than we were before, but we've learned our lessons. And so I'm sitting here just below Sedona. We're creating a sanctuary, place where Michael has stayed a few times and is always welcome. It's another home for him. The connections are coming through strongly now from all over the place. We have people coming here who have no idea why they're here and joining in the work. We're connecting a bunch of properties here, 7 or 8 right now, to work together in making change, to work together to teach again how we deal with the mother. And I've learned a lot. I thought I knew working with the mother, and in the last couple of years, realized I wasn't listening deeply enough either. We not only have to listen to her now, we have to do what she tells us. We have to follow what she says. We have to watch the animals. We have to watch the forest. We have to watch the standing people. And so I feel like a little kid back in school in some ways. And that's a powerful thing. But this time I go with all my mistakes behind me I've learned from. So we keep doing it. Recently, I had the Kogi reach out to me, and we're going to strike up a partnership between the Kogi and those of us here in Sedona. The mamas are going to be going out around the globe right now because it's definitely time. And it's just, I think my job has always been to be a bridge. And I'm told I'm a magnet. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it seems like we are all connecting. Those of us who need to be connecting now. And it's good that I see some of them are younger. Like my friend Anchingir, who's up in New York and then is going to be coming here to Sedona area. Some of the younger ones are grabbing hold and learning and listening and sharing because we have to hear what they want when this is over, not just what we think. And so it's good to be here, and I'm always honored to be part of what Michael does because I know he hears not only the people but the earth, and that's critical. Thank you all.
Thank you. And I just want to say, Brother Grey Wolf, that, when I came to visit you, it is amazing. You are attracting a lot of young people and youth who are coming, who are starting to realize the importance of holding and learning from lineage and tradition and learning this traditional wisdom. Unfortunately, a lot of people, younger people in the world, they're not honoring the elders. They're not keeping some of this traditional wisdom alive. So I really want to honor you for being a bridge and doing the work that you're doing. And also, you're located right by Montezuma's Well, which is another sacred place by Sedona and a very important place for sacred waters. So thank you for joining today.
You bet. Let me just add to that real quickly, Michael, because I've learned this a lot too over the years, and I'm sure some of you have. Yeah, it's different to get the young people to sit and share with us now, but the big part of that is, and I mean it seriously, we have to honor and respect them as well, and we have to hear their words. It has to be a dialogue now, not a lecture. They will not sit for a lecture, and I don't blame them. But for dialogue, they'll sit and they'll pay attention. And boy, they're teaching me things. Plus, they have stronger bodies that we don't have anymore. So, yeah, thanks for that. Thanks to them.
Thank you. Well, speaking of that and speaking of the Sedona area, I see that actually I'm really happy that my two daughters, Ananda and Sierra, are here joining us today. I also see other people like Omashar who will hopefully bless us with some music, but I'm really glad they're here. They were actually both born right above Oak Creek Canyon of Sedona and Flagstaff years ago and have been incredible inspiration for me and great teachers and blessing. So I would like to just for a moment, if Ananda and then Sierra could just come on camera for a moment and just share something from the heart. It could be a prayer or a thought just about this gathering, this coming together today as we regenerate this rebirthing process. But as we know, as we have regeneration, we also have degeneration. The old is falling away. And I feel very strongly with both of my daughters who also, when I was working with grandfather David and Thomas Banyaka, were as babies were honored to be able to sit in the kivas up on Third Mesa. So I want to just invite Ananda first, and then Sarah, if you could come and just share some brief words with us, that would be deeply appreciated. So welcome, Ananda. Is your camera on? Well, I'll go to Sierra. I know Sierra's here, and Sierra actually, like many of us, has been on the edge or in disaster zones. She lives in Ojai, and just recently Ventura had a fire, and of course we're all familiar with what just happened in Los Angeles. But I'd like to welcome my Rainbow Thunder daughter, Sierra. Are you there, Sierra? The mic's off.
Oh, there. Hi. Yeah, I'm really grateful that I'm able to be on this call with you all, especially in this time, being in Ojai, surrounded by the intensities of these fires and just like re-regulating the nervous system. And I'm grateful I could come on this call because that's really helping that and grounding down. I'm really here just to witness and to listen at this time. And I just really appreciate being here, and I appreciate hearing from the elders. So thank you.
Thank you. And I know she's here. Also, my daughter Ananda is a physician's assistant, and even all the way through COVID, being in Manhattan, she was birthing babies. So she's another one of our lion tribe. I know she's probably just getting up because she works many day shifts at the hospital. But if she could come on camera just for a moment, so we can acknowledge her, and then I want to invite others on. But I think it might be a good time to have a little bit of music. And if Omashar is plugged in, maybe he could share some music with us. But Ananda, are you there? Can you come on camera?
She says she's having technical difficulties, but is listening.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So all the way to Boulder, Colorado now. Another incredible being doing amazing work to help raise the frequency. We are going to give everyone a chance to speak in a moment. Again, like Jim said, this isn't about lecturing or just talking. This is about creating a collective frequency and resonance together. Especially, I'm getting goosebumps right now knowing that the planetary alignment is happening. So I'd like to welcome our brother Omashar.
Namaste, everybody, and what a auspicious day to be meeting. Holy smoke. I woke up this morning and I thought, what's happening? And then I got reminded of the alignment. And I'm going to just play us a song. It's a short song. It's called Just a Breath Away. And it was written a couple of weeks ago for these times. And I'll just share it. And yeah, so thank you, Michael, for inviting me in. So grateful to feel us all. I feel us so palpably right here. So much so that I can even speak that word palpably. That's very cool. So give me a moment. I'm just going to switch my mic source. When you feel like giving up, when you feel like letting go, living in this ever-changing world, when it seems that all is lost and you don't know where to turn, the future seems so very far away, so just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. Ba-da-da-dum-bum-bum. Da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. So when it seems that you're alone and the fears knock at your door, remember I am just a breath away. You are my brightest star, you've just forgotten who you are. Remember there is nothing in the way, and just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day.
with your hand in mine, heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. You and your music are such a treasure, and optimistic words.
It's
Yeah.
the truth, brother. It's yes, I'm not too sure how to say it, but it's like these songs just arise and they're all prayers. They really are just prayers from the heart of us all. And it's a bit nervous for me playing today because it's the first song I've played today, and I didn't even sound check, so I just jumped in like you do on a horse or on a boat or on a bicycle, and knew that I was playing to our hearts. And so thank you for the opportunity.
Well, it's amazing too. I love your background with the flower of life, and also the person with the 7 chakras, because part of today we were going to open up talking about the planetary alignment, and of course, many of us know, without getting too metaphysical or astrological centric, that all the planets carry a frequency, they carry a message. So I can't help thinking about the planets lining up, kind of like the chakras of the human body, and this is such a time, such a powerful time, really beyond words, of alignment and change and transformation. So,
And is it not, is there 7 planets lining up today? Is that how many there are? I think
well, there's definitely 6. There's been some discussion if the 7th is actually in direct alignment.
Mhm.
And, there's also so many other things happening right now too. I know we on a cosmic level, and as we know, and as our traditional wisdom keepers were talking about today, we're part of nature. So whenever these things happen, of course, it has profound effect and interrelationship with ourself on a cellular level, spiritual level, physical level, mental, and of course, emotional level. So I want to open it up in just a minute, and I see more people are joining. And again, this podcast will go out, but I wanted to go back to grandmother Gail for a moment, because we were, we were going we were going to talk about each planet and some of the attributes. So grandmother Gail, are you there?
Yes, Michael, thank you. Yeah, I want to encourage roundtable discussion to bring us into alignment with these planets. For example, Venus. How can we create more love and beauty with art, music, coming together in these ways, collaborating and co-creating in so many ways? Mercury, what is the message for these times? How can we be sure the information fed to AI, for example, includes indigenous ways? Mars, what is worth fighting for now? Let's pick and choose our battles carefully. It's a critical time. Saturn, are we getting what we deserve? And will that bring us back to where we need to be? How can we take these lessons out in the world in a better way? Jupiter, how do we find meaning and optimism in these times? Uranus, how do we prepare for sudden, unexpected events? Neptune is about spiritual growth and new ways of looking at our interactions with the world around us. So how do we align ourselves with these planets that are so beautiful in the sky? You know, they appear in our vision to be in a line. They're not actually lined up in the sky, but they are in our appearance from here, from Earth. That's where the alignment appears to bring us together, to align with us. So let's step into that responsibility. Do we want to go one planet at a time and roundtable discussion and contribute our thoughts for just 1 minute, 2 minutes, so we have equal time for everyone to share? Do we want to start with Venus, because that seems to be where we've started naturally? This is what we are doing. We're coming together with beauty, the music, everything that we bring together is beautiful in community. And so,
So Gail, maybe we'll start with Venus, and then let's just, Stephanie can or Pamela can make sure that the mics are open if anyone would like to comment about each planet and the attribute. We can do that, and then we're going to have some more music from Mount Shasta in just a little bit. But yeah, why don't we start with Venus if anyone would like to comment?
Venus is the planet of love.
Well, I guess I'll start then very briefly, without being too long-winded. You know, I'm Taurus, so I'm kind of ruled by Venus. So, you know, in my life, that translates for me into love, but also the love of beauty and art. But also, I find in my life uh, the importance of acquiring a deep respect and reverence for the feminine. For me, the Venusian energy is very um, feminine and very has lots of grace. And like everything, there's the light and dark elements. But yeah, I think for me, you know, art and beauty and the feminine is, which also at this time corresponds to some of the prophecy teachings of the great white buffalo calf woman, bringing back and honoring of the divine feminine. And that's why, again, the space you hold in Pachamama and others for the grandmother council is so important. So,
Michael, that's beautiful. That is a very good representation of Venus and bringing us into alignment. Anyone
Gail,
else
your
would
voice
like
is really, really quiet, so we can hardly hear you.
just open your mic if anyone else would like to speak about Venus at this time?
Yes, I love Venus. This is beloved Christ, and yeah, Sanat Kumara from Venus. Okay, this planet almost was done. Like they were gonna roll it up, and like it's over. And then he volunteered with 144,000 to come and establish the I am presence. of every soul, so that the Christ consciousness and the God consciousness is here. So, and one time when I was an exotic dancer, my name was Venus. So yeah, I love Venus. Venus is love, and Earth is heart. And you know, if you scramble the letters, so heart is, this is the planet of love. We are here to love it up as much as possible. ASAP. Love you. Over and out.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, love.
That's
Thank
beloved
you.
from Mount Shasta. I know she's going to share a song a little bit later. And please, no one be bashful. Step up and share whatever thoughts or feelings you have. So maybe what we can do, Gail, can you hear me?
Yes.
After each planet, I can just ring the bowl and we can kind of just sit for a moment with that quality and let that kind of resonate out.
Beautiful.
Let's see if you can hear it with the original sound.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to fix original sound. Any other Venus before we go on?
Lady Venus and Sanat Kumar's twin flames. All right, bye.
I also see that Tracy is here. I believe Tracy's in Australia, correct? And I see a few other familiar names if they would like to share any of their intuitive thoughts about Venus from the feminine.
I'm in Australia, and the daylight's just broken here. And most times I get up early and go and meet the sunrise. Most nights I go out and say goodnight to the sun as they go down. And I'm a little bit tired today because I've been doing it for 5 years and I'm an old bird now and I'm a bit worn out, but I love doing that. It's like I'm called. I have to do it. And I'm just learning that, the bones are a little old and sometimes I might need to sleep instead. But really, I wake at that time, something happens, I go outside, the sky's just starting to break and it draws me out. And there's something very magical about that. And I'm learning a different way with it. Not just going out and photograph. I've got thousands of photos, 70,000 they told me when they took them off, of sunrises and sunsets here in Australia. And I will cull them over the time and make something. I'm a writer as well, and poetry. So I write, and I will, muck around with it over the next year. But I followed Gail and Michael and most people here. Shara I've met, and fabulous music. And I want to cry when I say I'm here with family. We are family, and somewhere all of this matters so much. So I'm twinkling out love right across everywhere. And just thank you for being here and holding place for all of us. Thank you, Michael, Gail, everyone. Thank you. And just thank you to the planets. They are, I was a professional. I'm a retired old bird, as I said, but the planets talk every day still, and I still make medicine from the plants. I still make oils. Someone says, what do you do? I say, I don't work anymore, but I do. I work with plants, planets, energies, and I'm just very grateful we can share like this. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. And you remind me that in our traditional Salagi way, our calendar is based on Venus as the morning star and the evening star. So we are encouraged to see our darkness. Our darkness is actually what holds our gifts and our genuine contributions from our soul. So getting in touch with our dreams, working with our dreams, and the Venus calendar for our birth sign, our day sign, and what we were born to do at this
And
time.
what we value, that's what pops in my head straight away. I used to teach all these, suddenly words are coming, and it's like Venus is what we like. Venus is what we value. Venus is what we love. And one of my teachers and mentors taught me, when it's someone's birthday, you're an astrologer, Tracy, look at their charts, see where their Venus is, and then you will know what they love and value. Then you shop around that, and or you give from that place of the heart through the Venus. So yes, thank you. Venus is what we love and value.
Beautiful. Yeah, let's ring the bell for that, Michael.
Here we go. I think it's going to work now. I have to say, can we go to Mercury, the messenger, Hermes? There's like a burning, something wants to come through here. I'm going to sit back passively. I'm feeling lit up right now, but please, if you want to share more, Gail or anyone about Mercury and messages.
Yeah, yeah, Mercury. What is the message for these times? How can we be sure the information being fed to AI includes our indigenous ways? Please, all of you, step into that question and opportunity and use your intellect and your learning and your reasoning and communicate this at every opportunity. So just open your mic and come in with any contribution you want to make to the message for these times that Mercury is sharing with us right now.
Well, I will, Gail, because I just think, again, Hermes, Mercury, this is the energy of us, of the world, of the planet, of the plants, of everything that can go between the worlds, between the underworld and the overworld. And there's not many energies we have that traverse both so well. And this is the messenger that brings back. And it's a tricky energy. This is the trickster. This is the coyote. This is the one that could trick us. And I've been tricked. I know it. And I know where my Hermes is and what it aspects, and it's naughty at times, but it's very magical. And so it's like knowing Hermes in a new time. What are we being tricked by at the moment? Are we? So yes, this is a very important energy at the moment, and this is the winged sandaled one that can disappear. He's got the hat of invisibility and the winged sandals. So what is that part of ourselves? And are we tricking ourselves even? Are we being tricked? Yes, that makes me, like, my nervous system needs a little cup of chamomile tea, I think.
I also just want to add briefly, I did speak to Adam recently, who had the Ancestral Voices gathering in Sedona at the Sedona Center. And even though he's not with us today, him, like many others we know, are in ceremony. I know also Lenny from Canada, another one of our elders from Wisdom Council, are in ceremony today. So I just wanted to acknowledge them because part of our gathering today, whether people are on this Zoom communication or not, there's many people who are again aligning, synchronizing, resonating, and helping to architect this new paradigm through our efforts based on compassion, respecting traditional wisdom, respecting the voices of the feminine, of the elders, and also of the youth. And I'm really glad Jim mentioned that because the youth are really the people of the 7th, 8th, 9th generations that are going to be inheriting our efforts. So I don't know. I see also a few people I recognize here. I see Alex Mednick. I see Corrigan. I see a few other people. Stephanie, I don't know if other people are getting downloads or messages right now of something that want to come through. Not to put you on the spot, but we want to make sure that your voices are welcome and also heard.
I'll jump in. What has been profound for me, and it's sort of a combination at this point of both Venus and Mercury, is to remember and work with that every moment is an opportunity to love, and that the things I mean, ego sort of runs through our culture. Ego is necessary to survive, but so often things come up and they really are not important. And that's when to remember that this is an opportunity to love has been, again, profound for me. And thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. That is profound. Yeah, every moment is an opportunity for love. Yeah, anyone else want a round table on this particular topic of Mercury communication?
One of the things that is so central for me, and I'm sensing for all of us, is being in my heart, actually experiencing the resonance of my heart. It's part of my foundation. And what I also find is that not only because of all the change that's rapid and intense that now we're going through, but the depth and the flow and the resonance with which I'm able to actually experience being in my heart creates greater calm, greater clarity, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, with all the planets, and yeah, so.
That's such an interesting point. Just to add, there's a thing called the Heart Math Institute where they actually scientifically did a lot of research, and they, even though in many colonial cultures we're programmed that the brain is the center of thought and activity and consciousness, but they've come to realize that the heart has, I believe it's 10,000 or 100,000 more times biomagnetic energy and intelligence than the brain. And not that the brain isn't part of the holistic system, but that the heart's intelligence, that heart actually has a brain, but the heart's intelligence is what really governs our life and helps facilitate so much, and can intuit, is empathic, and also is, I call it the internet. It's what connects us even beyond the words or being on Zoom or on phone calls, that we all have that connection, especially for people like us who are really connecting with the earth, simplifying and trying to discern out some of the noise and chaos. When we're connecting with the trees, the land, the water, we're connecting with each other as part of this great earthly and cosmic consciousness.
Okay. And we can move on to Mars. Values. What is worth fighting for? Oh yeah, let's ring the bell for Mercury. Can't forget that. Thank you so much, Michael. And really, all of this is worth fighting for and may require a fight more and more at this time. And we need to take care of ourselves so that we are strong in our fight and in our choices, our values, as we pick and choose these battles that are synchronistically arising for us. Anyone have an experience or an example they want to share of fighting for something that's worth it? My people were the people who resisted removal on the Trail of Tears and the reservation that the federal government calls Cherokee by hiding in these mountains. And this sacred mountain still supports appropriate resistance with the energy of the oldest mountain on Turtle Island. Know that it is with us as we pick and choose these battles. We have the support of the wild food, of the elements, of the ancestors, of the animals. There's so much with us at this time. Let's fight in our best way, our highest and best representation, not in duality, but in reconciliation. So anyone contribute as you want to.
All that comes to mind to me, and there's been discussion whether it's a prophecy, a teaching, whether it was just spoken or fabricated, but there's this whole message that's gone out. And Beloved from Mount Shasta mentioned briefly about the 144,000. But what comes to me, and I know in my conversations with SD Young Wolf, being a person of unity, even though I have my path, I can still see the connection and the oneness of humanity, regardless of what religion or tradition I might be around. But what comes to me is it's time for the rainbow warriors, those who carry all the different frequencies and colors and different nations to come together to mend the hoop. So there is a level of warriorship in doing that. Sometimes just getting up in the morning, it takes being a warrior, or speaking our truth, or reaching out to be compassionate and help someone. So I just want to put into the field today that this is an activation, a solar system galactivation, to continue to help awaken the rainbow warriors of the world.
This is the right place and time for our passions as well. Mars supports our passion.
So if Beloved is here, did she want to, I know she's not on camera, if she's here, did she want to share her song, her passion? I will say, I've known her for decades, and she's really incredible musician, holds a lot of gatherings in Mount Shasta, working a lot with young people and elders. She's actually the one who connected us with White Buffalo before the Earthstock gathering, another native elder, and is out always singing with the water and the trees, but definitely a rainbow warrior. If she's here, maybe she'd like to share her song, share that passion.
Hello.
You're
Hey,
there.
can you see me? Okay, this is like a miracle because you see Sasa? I can't tell. But
No,
I'm at the ski park because my stepdaughter, I was told she's my stepdaughter, whatever. I've never been married or had children, but so to speak. Anyway, I am amazed that it actually works here because there's no Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like this is just because I have an iPhone 15. So thank you God. Hey, come join me, Ariella. Ready?
your camera's off.
Ariella. Hello, Michael. Oh, sorry. What?
Your camera's off. I'm not sure if you have your camera.
Oh, no wonder.
You're up at Mount Shasta. Look at that, the Crystal Mountain. Amazing.
I'm excited to see myself. Over here. All right, here we go. So we were practicing. Ready? We're gonna do a cappella, obviously.
All right.
Oh, come on. She's being shy. Ariella, I've never seen you shy. Okay, ready? From the top. Because I am one with God. I am one with swords. I am one with the sword of my soul. I am one with God. I am one with yours. I am one side with her. So she just spelled it out with me earlier during the yoga of my soul. He's one down, all creation. Here and now, loving all. Here and now, healing all the nation. Here and now, sending loving vibration.
Great, thank you. It's so good to see you and see Mount Shasta.
That was so fun to feel Mount Shasta. Holy smoke.
Wow. And you're in Boulder right now, correct?
Yeah, just Boulder. We just had a massive snow dump last night, and we're down, I don't know, about 20 degrees below 0 Celsius last night. So it's a little bit nippy.
Wow.
However, it's beautiful to be alive. Thank you.
Hey, we want to ring the bell for Mars and our fight and our passion. And we'll move to Saturn because this is Saturn's day, Saturday. And Saturn brings us what we deserve. So this is a reminder to stay at our highest and best so that we deserve the highest and best in return. And we thank Saturn for taking us out into the world in a good way, in this way, and for bringing the world into us in a good way. Now, I know for a long time now, I've been bringing in discipline by honoring Saturn on Saturday morning with all the hair that I accumulate in my hairbrush all week long. I'll save it, take it to the west window, which is where Saturn sits, and offer it back to the earth, to Saturn with my gratitude, to the crows who support Saturn, and also with the acknowledgement of the masculine in a good way. Saturn is the masculine, and karma. You know, he can be a strict teacher, but as we honor him in a good way, then we are able to get those kind, gentle lessons that we can easily understand. And so I'm glad that we have this opportunity to honor Saturn on Saturn's day and take a responsibility for our karma and what we're getting at this point in time, you know? So how can we all do that in a good way?
I want to acknowledge another Rainbow Warrior, a friend of mine of many decades, also a drummer who knew Babatunde Olatunji. He was going to join us today. He might be having Wi-Fi issues, but he's in Santa Cruz, California, and I was just there days after the big waves came and literally broke the end of the wharf off and washed it out to the sea. And lots of the historic West Cliff, the street along the ocean, has been getting washed away. Parts of it actually don't exist anymore. And I was going to drive to Southern California, but the Highway 1, which is one of the most beautiful natural drives really here in really in the world, but here in the north of Turtle Island, has been continuously closed for years because of the power of nature. So I just want to say, when you said karma, you know, I'm very optimistic and positive, but I do see a lot of, again, with the Hopis talked about earth changes and this great purification, I do see a lot of the earth giving us messages and a lot of these things that are happening with the water and fire and the winds, and also the earthquakes, a lot of volcanoes recently. But, you know, I think a lot of that, as we know within quantum consciousness, what we put out feeds into a larger energetic quantum field and creates reality. So I see some of these things happening, I mean, we can call them natural disasters, and it is very sad of the impact on human beings and animals. I was in Los Angeles 2 days before the fires started, visiting my daughter, and came back north. So, you know, as horrible as they are, for me, it's kind of a direct reflection, an energetic and karmic response by nature of what's happening right now in the world because of so much just blind consumerism, disrespect for the earth, and within these events, the natural world, the elementals are giving us messages. So I want to acknowledge my friend in Santa Cruz, because literally days after I left there, they had the big fire at the battery plant. And as much as, you know, the idea of lithium batteries and electric cars are important, you know, everything has a dark and a light side. But the point is, I just saw a post from my friend where they've been testing the water in Santa Cruz, and it's been completely contaminated by a lot of the ash and the fallout from these lithium batteries. And it's interesting, I just wanted to mention too, I know Asheville, North Carolina is a place that actually has some of the largest lithium deposits, again, here in the north of Turtle Island. So, you know, there's this whole thing, and I just want, not to be political, I just want to say, when I heard the other day, you know, the new administration saying, drill, baby, drill, and got rid of protections to the Alaskan National Wildlife Refuge. They're talking about removing the rights of native lands for energy exploitation, you know. And again, I want to keep all this positive, but I think about this whole thing and karma and stuff. It's like, yeah, we have to start with our heart, our foundational place of love and compassion. We have to be warriors. I feel like the planets, these attributes line up, but we have to understand that everything we do has profound action. And I really do believe in what we're doing today. Again, I'm getting goosebumps, is making a positive difference. And even getting goosebumps, one of my native teachers, elders said, oh, you know, you guys call them goosebumps. What we say in our traditional culture is when you get those feelings that you're actually growing your next generation of spiritual feathers, that you feel that in your nervous system and in your energetic body. So I just want to send out some prayers to all of our family in Santa Cruz, California, which is another important power spot that really have been affected by this this event that just happened. And so sending all beings prayers to this time of this purification, and that we can that people will wake up, and we don't have to have so much negative karma or response by the natural world, and things that we can move forward in a good way and have a better quality of life, a healthier quality of life. So.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the lithium, because the crystals and all the gadgets we're using today come from this sacred mountain. We have the best, purest crystals in the world. And so it's that mine that I grew up with that drives all of our gadgets. And after the hurricane, they started to think that they might need a backup. And so they're looking at other places in the world, and we want to do that kindly and gently. And I'll also say that the biggest impact of the hurricane that I've seen, the flooding, took over 200 lives and 2,000 houses out, completely washed them out. And it was primarily the colonizer lands that were claimed through the doctrine of discovery along our waterways that destroyed the river cane, destroyed the beavers, destroyed the natural balance that was in place in our original woodlands people ways. And I want to encourage S.D. Youngwolf a little bit at this time. I know he has passion about decolonization. It's a tough issue. It's a tricky conversation, but if SD has anything to engage Saturn and Mars with at this time, to encourage decolonization, you know, it's taken over so much of our original ways and normalized the imbalance, the unnatural. And one of our grandmother's directives was actually to, to normalize natural. And if anybody wants to speak on how we can do that, you know, Saturn is here to help us.
Yeah, I'd follow up a little bit. Yeah, Michael, I don't think we're bringing in negative to identify these things. We have to identify them to be able to understand them and then to work with them. So I think it's how we do it that's important. And it's interesting because you're talking about California, and I've been working around that. We're not that far away. And North Carolina, many of those roads are gone as well. It's going to be 2 to 3 years before some of those roads are opened, if they are. So we're watching the mother do what we were told. If we don't listen, the messages are going to get louder and louder and louder. And I really do think, I mean, yeah, I can get angry and upset too as well, but this new administration or whatever this is doing their job. They're bringing this to the surface. I mean, we can keep the list going, you mentioned. How about eliminating FEMA? Is that insane at a time like this? So the things are being done to awaken all those who can awaken. And we know it's not going to be everybody. We've been told that from the beginning. But our numbers are swelling. And I think we have to just keep doing all this work. And colonization, you know, I've got mixed, and I'm a mixed breed. I'm a little bit of everything. I'm Native American, I'm Romney Gypsy. So I'm definitely a mongrel. But really here on this earth, we're all colonists. The original nations here have 4 legs or 2 wings or fins. So we all need to walk gently. And my brothers and sisters who are indigenous and living closer to the earth, wow, my God, do we need their teachings right now? But we need all of us, and we have to all respect that we're all here on the mother's surface at her suffrage. I don't care if we're originally from the earth or we still live close to the earth. You know, we're all human, and so we have to come together and teach each other, I guess. Thanks for bringing this piece up, Michael and Gail. I think it's really critical.
Thank you, Jim. Oops, that didn't work. SD, hit that mic again.
Okay, now?
Yes, good.
Okay. Yes, colonization, decolonization is a very, very important thing, I think, to look at this time. And it really comes down to, for me, that the realization that it's not that we own the land as the colonizer consciousness would say, that is all of it, everything's based on property. Laws are based on property. Society and even culture based on property. But I think the colonized mind is a way of thinking above all, that sees oneself as the possessor and not as a part of nature so much. And I think it's a conditioned way of thought in which there is violence inherent, because to possess things, the way of thinking of the predominant culture worldwide, it means to have it, and it involves often to take it. And I mean, there are people who say that the improving the land, for instance, is the basis of owning property. And that's unfortunately based on the idea that all land needs improvement instead of seeing that the land, or more properly the territory, which includes not just land, but air, sunlight, water, is all part of the ecosystem. That, I mean, that is a materialistic philosophy, that in order to own, we must own the land, and in order to own the land, we must improve it. Whereas if you read some of the teachings of the old ones, it's that there must be some land to be free, because it is a part of all of the ecological system, which we came out of, which we are a part of. So it's not so much that we control nature, but we are nature. And I think that realization, we must live that realization. And so I was thinking about, someone that I met in Peru who completely from the other side of the world and saw the beautiful designs of the Quechua people and say, oh, this is great. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make t-shirts from it, without asking anyone of that culture. And that is a very common thing, that we believe we have that right. And I've heard it said, I can take anything I want from anywhere I want, anytime I want, and do anything I want with it. That's actually been said. And I think for the sake of the world, I think that is a pattern of thought we must get beyond. But like I say, it's so much a part of us. I mean, I see it in myself, because we grow up in this way. And I think we followed the teachings of the old ones about respect, love, generosity, all these things. That is what we need to be living. And that's my viewpoint. So thank you.
Thank you, that is perfect. Yeah, and Michael, if no one else has anything to add, or if someone else does want to say something regarding Saturn. Tracy, did you want to speak to Saturn?
Well, I'm in the car. I just want to agree. We have to start living it and doing it. And, I'm out now. I'm going to draw a rainbow. I'm going to live it and do it early in the morning. So thank you for speaking it. Now doing it, living it, experiencing it, and being it. Thank you. And thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Michael, do you want to ring the bell for Saturn, and we'll move to the other planets? We've got about 20 more minutes.
Absolutely. I also want to just thank, there's a few people I know and work with. I know they haven't spoke yet, but I'm glad that they're here today, just participating in this alignment and this galactivation. Let's see. Here we go. I was thinking, I'm going to ring the bell. I was thinking before we go on, maybe we have the benefit of Omashar. Maybe he'd be inspired to share another song with us. Just keep it in the creative and high vibe. Here we go.
So 3 more planets and 20 more minutes.
What's the next planet, Gail?
I'm sorry, what?
What's the next planet?
Okay, the next planet is Uranus. How do we prepare for sudden, unexpected events? And I want to want to mention Becky's kinship way. I'm sorry that she's not here to tell us more about it, but she has an idea of bringing people together in groups in their area to support each other and bypass the monetary and the government that we are also tied into now, and come back into community of supporting each other in kinship way. And I know after the hurricane, I really was wishing that there was already that network in place that Becky is supporting and creating for us. So I encourage you to look for Becky Big Canoe and her kinship way in preparation for these sudden unexpected events. And if anyone else has experiences or contributions in that regard, please, how do we prepare?
Gail, I'm reminded of something that the Dalai Lama said some months ago, and that was, a message to everyone, was to keep healthy, keep your immune system strong, because we don't know where we're going. And that was, I always think of Dalai Lama as my favorite and honored spirit man on planet Earth. And these were his words, they're a little bit mine there, but that was his message. Stay well, stay healthy, keep your immune system strong, because we don't know where we're going. And I think for me that is, again, it's Saturn, I'm back to Saturn, but keep your boundary, keep your container strong. Don't let it leak, no leaky holes. Just check your boundaries, check your containers. A leaky boat's no good, and what that means for each of us is something different. For me, it might mean getting a daily routine better. For someone else, it might mean cooking regular meals. But there's some sort of regularity in this that holds us. Yes. And what was the next planet? Was Uranus. I don't know. Again, it's what the Dalai Lama said. To prepare for Uranus means all of that. Uranus is about sudden change, so it's going to trip everyone up at some point. That is the nature of turning right degrees to where we think we're going. That is the nature of Uranus's energy, and that within us as well, and that around us. So sudden change is the word that goes with Uranus for me. And to be in preparation means have my shoes nearby, not always bare feet. Though, as a metaphor, I say that as much as literal. So be prepared. That means pack a lunch if you're going out. Make sure you've got some nibblies for the dog. Be wise, be prepared. And I think that's the way to be with Uranus. Be prepared, be ready for sudden change as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
It comes to me, something that just dropped in very strongly is, in order to be prepared, is to stalk oneself as to what do we speak? What do we put out, our words? How do we express ourselves? This is something that the system, the artificial system, is there putting in our heads fear and this and that. We also grab that, and that's our, how we dress ourselves with what is being said. But we speak in ways sometimes that are totally, that are hurtful and not. So I think that we have to pay attention as to how do we express ourselves. And that makes a whole lot of difference of our surrounding.
It does. Pati, thank you. Yeah. And this is all building the ego shift from identity in our consumerism culture that Michael mentioned to the true function of awareness. Natural disaster drives our shift to ego as awareness instead of ego as identity. And Uranus also supports individuality in that way and revolution. I see a lot of people calling for a little good, well-chosen revolution. So I'll not get too political and not invite that.
Well,
Specific energy with
take away the R and you have evolution. right? So evolution,
Exactly.
evolution. And I will say, I love what Patricia said, and also Tracy, because the Dalai Lama did come out recently a couple months ago and said, as he watches the world after his, 60, 70 years of traveling all over the world, teaching millions of people, that we are entering into this unique time of like the self, of divisiveness, of alienation, but also, as many of us know, within that, there's also a greater unity. So for me, thinking about the planets and today and frequency and resonance and heart coherence, it's like I'm very much, especially here in Colorado, people call me the California Kumbaya guy, right? Like, I wish we could all get along, but I've come to learn the importance also of discernment and budgeting my time and energy where I have, the ability to take care of myself, to help be available and have compassion for others, but also about discernment where so many things maybe want our energy or want to derail us or take us off our path. So it's a slippery slope, but nonetheless with our intuition. And I think this is why it's so important about our health. Like when our digestive biome is clean, when we eat good food, we have the nutrients, and our spirit, minds, and bodies are working in collaboration, our intuition tells us immediately, like, oh, this energy repels me, this energy attracts me. So I, over the last, few years, especially being in kind of quiet retreat here in Crestone. I mean, from 4 years of being a producer and doing millions of things in California to being here and almost doing nothing, but being a human being, not a human doing, I've found the value of discernment, and also the importance about recharging with nature, our connection to nature, the importance of health, and also the importance of our intuition to guide us through these earth changes that are happening. It's that spiritual guidance. It's what's going to bring us through. And I really like what Grey Wolf said about right now. Many of us have consciously chosen to be here, to be a bridge between these the traditional wisdom, the ancient times, and to which goes back to the theme of Regenesis. And I present that at a lot of events. This idea of new humanity, new earth, new paradigm, new design. I would like to possibly have a monthly Regenesis gathering because I'm a student. Like, what is new? What's ancient? What's traditional? Is there a new earth? What does that mean? Like kind of continuing to explore some of these topics, and it's been amazing doing these presentations publicly because some of these people are just in the early stages of their awakening. And when we have these conversations about reconciliation, genetic astrology, traditional wisdom, indigenous people, spirituality, consciousness. It's amazing what happens when people are in, it's kind of like an AA meeting for the soul, right? We talk about these types of important topics. So I just wanted to add that because, for me, it really feels important. And, and I really do appreciate people have taken time to be on this call today, but also to create this frequency and resonance together. So thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You want to ring the bell for Uranus?
Yeah, and then if we could, I know Omashar responded back. He probably has an appropriate song for this moment. Here we go.
Okay. We have 2 more minutes and 2 more planets remaining, or 15 minutes and 2 planets remaining. Little music to lift us up. Thank you, Omar.
So you'd like some music now?
Please.
Okay, and I feel completely honored to be amongst this wisdom. I'm feeling it, I'm drinking it. Thank you so much. It is really a balm to my heart. And this song is called The Time Has Come, because we know it has, right? It is not a rehearsal, it is now. We are on.
with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. I felt alone for oh so many years, held my head high to hide the pain. Nowhere to turn, so to myself again I tune my heart to the mother. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. The time has come to wake my sleepy head and peel back the sheets of illusion. The time has come to lift my voice once more and sing the songs of the new world. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. I am one with all feeling, and one with all love, one with all healing, and one with all. The time has come. The time has come.
Oh, perfect. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Hope you all didn't mind that I played with spotlighting you a little bit.
That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
was
you
fun.
deeply, deeply. I have to go now with all time. We have a commitment. Very, very, very grateful, very grateful. Keep
Thank you.
together.
Until again. We'll do the 2 more planets in 10 minutes.
No, no.
Then you
We
stay
need to go.
connected.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I'm carrying you guys with us, with me. Bye.
Yeah, till again. Okay, so we have to ask How do we find meaning and optimism in these times with Jupiter's help? How do we find meaning and optimism? Actually, we have 3 more planets. We have
What what can we even say? What can we even say after Omashar's song? That was just divine
perfect. That's
timing.
how. That's it. So I think we covered Jupiter. That's the meaning and optimism. I will add that Michael's put together a beautiful collection of sacred sites around the world. And I do want to encourage us to return to the Earth's sacred sites to find meaning at this time. Speak with the Earth, and that will bring our optimism. Also, the Earth's sacred sites are often covered with big buildings, big colonizer buildings. So go to the basement, for example, in Chartres, and ask them to be allowed to see the water, the well that it all began with before that big cathedral was built on top of the Earth's sacred site. Go to the Yucatan. We heard from the ombudsman of the Yucatan that they are very aware that their sacred sites are underneath the cathedrals and that the pyramids are connected with the multiverse access, and that they are interested in working with all of us to bring back access to the people, access to those earth energies that were originally recognized and have remained even with huge cathedrals on top of them. So I encourage you to find your own sacred site in your yard, in your neighborhood, in your community. Go to the springs. That's our traditional Selagi passageways between the worlds, where the water bubbles up from the earth. Go to the springs, go to the stones. When we went on a journey, we first went to the stones, the largest, most energetic stone outcropping in our yard, in our neighborhood, in our heart. You know, I took Grandmother Ravenhale to the largest stone outcropping called Flat Rock when she was ready to sing her death song and choose her journey to the other side, and it was very difficult to do. But this is meaning, you know, this is our choice. This is our discernment that Michael was talking about. Go to the water, go to the stones, however they appear around you, and gather community with Jupiter at this time, with the support in that way. Does anyone else want to speak to Jupiter? Shall we ring the bell in the interest of time? I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to add to that. I remember in one of our wisdom councils that SD had mentioned about Lama Foundation, and I have a lot of resonance about doing some sort of gathering at the Lama Foundation in support of SD, mentioning that in his vision and the work that he's done there. And I'm really happy because I just remembered recently that Omashar is almost my neighbor in Boulder. So I can already feel the universe is, conspiring to do something positive. And so I just wanted to say, because of course, Taos and a lot of these areas in the Southwest, a lot of them haven't been necessarily developed on. So I just wanted to add that if anyone wanted to add something to that.
That's the expansion that Jupiter brings also. You're naturally stepping into that expansive when you align yourself with Jupiter. Beautiful example, Michael. Wisdom, knowledge, and expansion. The largest planet.
So I know we're coming up towards our time. I don't want to create stress about it, but when the Dalai Lama mention came up, and in the spirit of expansion, I just wanted to play for a minute. When I do performances, I have a Om Mani Padme Om. If I could just play that for a minute, we could just have a moment of kind of a moment of meditation on that. Can you hear this? Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Sending this energy out in all 7 sacred directions, above, below, behind and front, left and right, and within.
Seven of us remaining. 7 of us here to embrace Neptune, the final planet here from Earth that we align with. And this is our spiritual growth. Oops, do we ring the bell or do we let the
Oh, well,
let's
here.
ring the bell for
We'll do the
Jupiter. We
bell.
really need that one, yeah. Very sweet resonance that we bring to Neptune, the sea, the collective consciousness at this time for our spiritual growth and new ways of looking at our interactions with the world around us. So does anyone have experiences or thoughts for Neptune that we can take out to the collective at this time? Our dreams, our healing, our intuition, anything that we give to the collective as we share in these ways for these times.
Blessings of the water element.
Yeah. The elementals are with us here on this middle realm of Earth. We must engage and acknowledge and add them to our ways at this time on a regular basis, you know. Interacting with the elements in the world around us. That's a beautiful example. We can run just a little over if anyone wants to add to this. Right, Michael?
I just wanted to acknowledge the moment in the past, Standing Rock, that was so a watershed moment, excuse the pun, that a lot of people woke up to the importance of water and the importance of land stewardship and protecting land, and also the important wisdom and voice of the indigenous. Mini Wachoni. Water is life.
Do you, the kitty cats, want to add to that, or you're going to join me in singing the gratitude song, singing our Salagi gratitude song, since we opened with our Salagi song.
Yeah.
We can close if we're ready. After the bell. We'll close with that song after the bell and whatever you want to say at this time. You ready to ring the bell?
Yeah.
So just in a way of gratitude, Christy and I will both sing a song of gratitude. Can't hear your drum, SD. Do you have original sound on?
No.
Go ahead and lead us, SD, and I'll join you.
Well, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Can't hear your drum, but I can hear you.
Hear the drum?
Yeah, that's
Huh?
good. Yeah,
Okay.
now we
Hey, nay, nay, ho, hey, nay, oh. Hey, nay, nay, ho, hey, nay, oh. Hey, nay, nay, ho, hey, nay, oh. Hey, nay, nay, oh. Hey, nay, oh. Yan, hey, yan. Hey, hey, yan. Go, go. Hey, nay, nay, ho, hey, nay, oh. Hey, nay, nay, ho, hey, nay, hey, nay, oh. Hey, nay, nay, oh. Hey, nay, oh. Yana, hey, yana. Yana, hey, yo. Yana, yana, yo. Ayo.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michael, for bringing us together in this way. Thank you to all of you for being in community in this beautiful way. Yes, take us out with the flute, the wind, the element of wind.
Thank you. So I'm going to invite us all just to take a moment with our eyes closed, just to think about what's been shared and felt. And again, that this can go out for the benefit of all beings. And I just want to again acknowledge the weekly Grandmother Council, the Wisdom Council, and just the time and the work and the effort that everyone makes. And I'm looking forward to seeing SD and Taos, and I'm looking forward to going up to Boulder and hanging out with Omashar, making some sound. So thank you, everyone. And this will be rebroadcast and put out, so feel free to share. And thank you, everyone, for all that you do as we co-create the new world based on the old and the wisdom of the elders. day. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. Healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you, one and all. Many blessings.
Until again.